Who is that? What's that chick's name?
Janet. Miss Jackson, if you're nasty.
This year's chicks are arriving today, so I'm going to put a brooder together, and it won't take very long, but I thought I just might show you how we do it. We had this little box laying around. It was a crate that we used when we were moving. It's 54 inches long and it's 24 inches wide, and it seems to hold a ton of little day-old chicks. You could put in as many in there as you wanted. Once they get to the 6 to 8 week range, it gets pretty tight with anything over 6 or 8 little birds, but you could probably stuff 10 in there. So the first thing I'm going to do after I clean it out for last year, I'm just going to take a waterproof bag from Sweet Feed, from any local farm store that you have. It's waterproof, so I'm just going to cut it into shape to line the bottom. So I ended up not cutting the sacks, I just folded them up. And then I've got 2 landscaping bricks. You don't have to have landscaping bricks, but anything that's going to get the water and the feeder up off the floor, that will allow it to stay cleaner longer, and it just won't be as much work for you. And then I've got a stick in there. I always like to put in a little bit of habitat. They're chickens, they like to roost on stuff, even when they're little. So I put some pine shavings down. I decided to move the bricks to the back corner this time because the heat lamp will be over here. So this is going to be how it looks for the most part. Once the chicks get a little bit bigger, we'll utilize that screen over here and we'll cover the top so they can't fly out. But I've got a heat lamp secured with a clamp. I don't want to burn my shed down, and I don't want it to fall on a chick and hurt a chick. So once you plug this in, this is I think the most important tool to breeding chicks, just so you brooding chicks, so that you make sure that you have the correct temperatures and everything. It's just a true power infrared thermometer. There's probably 1,000 different kinds. I'm not saying true power is the only one to get. It's just the cheap one that we got, and it works great. So right off the bat, it's 47 degrees. And I'll hold it down and it'll probably go up. It's up to 48, so I just plugged it in. It's going to continue to rise up, and then once I believe that it's reached the correct temperature, or its maximum temperature, we'll say, I'll adjust the height, I'll adjust the angle, and try and get the max temperature to 100 degrees. The first week or so, this will be the setup. The only reason why we don't keep this set up indefinitely is because the dust that they make gets really dirty, and obviously it settles inside your house. So it's fun to have them inside when they're little bitty, but once they get to a week or 2 old, the dust gets to be quite a bit and it's just dirty, so we take them outside to the shed. So I came out to check to see how the light was working and if it was heating anything up. It only went to 70, so you can see I've made an adjustment. I've lowered the light about 6 inches. You just have to do this on your own until you find where you can get between 95 and 100. And then each week you kind of raise it up a little bit as they continue to get some more feathers. We tried new light bulbs. Well, it's the only ones that our farm store started to carry now. It seemed like everybody got rid of the big red lights. I'm sure there's some ridiculous reason that people have came up with that they don't have that, but we were having trouble getting to temperature. I plugged this in about 15-20 seconds ago, right before I turned the video on, and it was at 65. It's already up to 80. So just a few minutes later, it's up to temperature. I don't know if you can see it or not, but anywhere from 96 to 85, 95, there's a 99. Basically, the chicks can go anywhere they want to go to be able to thermal regulate uh, and stay warm or keep cool, whichever one they need at that moment. Once they get bigger, we just cover it with this screen so they can't fly out, and we're all set. We have our chicks vaccinated, so you use this Country Lane brand of chick starter. That's not it. That's just a bag of regular, but we use that, and it works great. We use a non-medicated kind just because we've read not to use medicated feed and on chicks that have been vaccinated. So it's a pretty simple process. Just keep their feed and water clean, and everything should be just fine. Keep them warm.